Welcome back to Bible Answers with Pastor Mike, and we've got another question that's going to be affecting Christians, I think, for the near future, talking about tolerance. Should we be fighting legal battles with the change in the culture and all that's going on? Would that make us then intolerant if we start to fight those legal battles? But maybe we could even start by just saying, define tolerance, because I think the culture's kind of hijacked that term.
Yeah, and they have, and we've talked about that before, but tolerance can't be defined as we are not going to disagree about what's right or what's true. That's what tolerance used to mean, is that you and I could disagree about what's truth, and we could civilly debate that and argue that out and deal with that. And even in pluralistic societies, or in pluralism, what that meant is then you could hold your view and I could hold my view, and you wouldn't be condemned or excluded from society because of that. We aren't going to insist that you agree on a particular topic. And when it comes to Christianity, of course, non-Christians disagree with us about several aspects of Christianity, that it's the only way, that there's a heaven and hell, whatever it might be.
Right.
And for them to be tolerant, what we want them to do is to recognize we have the right to believe what we believe, and to espouse that and proclaim it, and you've got the right not to accept it and to espouse something contrary to that. So that's what tolerance is, at least in a historic and a societal historic sense.
And so today they've taken that and they've made an intolerant person someone who, how would they define an intolerant person?
Well, obviously Christians are called intolerant because we don't agree,
yeah,
right? Whether it's homosexuality or whatever it might be, and we say, well, the Bible says that's wrong, it's very clear, well, then we're intolerant. Well, I just disagree.
Sure.
With that. Now, to be intolerant, I suppose would be, you're going to be exported from our country if you disagree with me on that, or if you practice that. But that's not what Christians are espousing. What we want the right to be able to do, which only seems right, is that we have the right to disagree.
Have an opportunity to have a voice. Okay, so then when we start having these battles, we take religion out of this, we take this out of that, and people start fighting legal battles. Should Christians get involved in that? Again, so we have the right to do that in our country and culture.
Yeah, and I think to a certain extent, and we've had people ask us about that in terms of, some demonstrating and picketing, and then some just in terms of, listen, they've taken my child's right away to, express her view in a project or an assignment or something. And I'm saying, well, yeah, one I would say would be very appropriate for us and probably necessary for us. We should insist through proper channels and respectfully and doing what we can legally to sustain our right to do these things in schools or in society or whatever it might be. Where I think we might stop short in our pastoral council here at our church is in going out and being what I think some people think of as a classic activist.
Yeah.
That we're going to picket, that we're going to, somehow we're going to boycott all these things. Because in reality, we understand that while people disagree with us, we're going to live in our world of disagreement. In other words, as Paul said, you'd have to leave the world to not interface with people that don't agree with us and that live contrary to what we teach. So in that sense, we recognize the world is what it is. It's going to get worse. And what we want is, as long as we can possibly do it, and that is to sustain our rights, to speak our voice, and to affirm the truth of Christianity without being persecuted for that. And that probably will change as well. We talk about that from the pulpit. Probably another season of persecution coming for the Western Church, and that's probably on the horizon. But as far as we can, we want to restrain that by, when it's within our legal right to do that, we want to insist on our rights to hold our views.
So then what is the godly perspective that will guard us from going too far into the activism and keep us right on that line where we are now? We're appealing to the proper channels and we're doing that. What's the proper godly perspective? Is it that Jesus is coming back soon so we can trust that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that necessarily, but I would say, am I wanting organizations or even municipalities to act as though they're a church? Do I want Disneyland or whatever to be a Christian organization? I can't insist on that, and I'm not going to boycott to try and insist on that. But I do want to be able to be a Christian and go to these places and be able to hold the views that I hold without exclusion or persecution. And as far as I can, whatever channels are available, I want to insist on that. But I don't want to try and make sure that my company, if it's a non-Christian company, or the places that I go to or the places I shop are going to function as a Christian organization. I just can't insist on that. I shouldn't expect that. And I think all the activism to that end is a bit futile.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, well, thank you so much. And again, if you have questions, please send them to us at askpastormike@compasschurch.org, and we'd love to get back to you.